Comic Reviews. Hey comic fans, I'm back. First things first, I'm sorry I have been away for such a long while, but the sad thing is I was recuperating from a personal loss. Someone really dear to me had passed away and I wanted to take some time off for that. I haven't been able to write my next episode or the season 3 finale, but now I am back, stronger, and in full force with new changes coming for this channel. Frequent uploads of retro and new game playthroughs, reviews, and more interesting episodes, ladies and gents. But now, ladies and gents, it's time to begin our comic review. It's now simply called Comic Reviews because I hope to upload reviews of old and new comics more frequently. So the review right now is a graphic novel I haven't read in a long time and I enjoyed it so much. It's Batman, A Death in the Family by Marv Wolfman, Jim Starlin, George Perez, and Jim Aparo. Originally released on December of 1988, I was only 2 years old at the time. This contains some spoilers, you've been warned, so let us begin. At a warehouse where a group of crime bosses are meeting, Batman and Robin are ready to strike. But Robin recklessly goes without Batman's signal, and the plan goes south. Batman then relieves Jason Todd, the second Robin, of his duties due to his aggressive and impulsive nature. Enraged, Jason storms off. On his own, he learns that Catherine Todd is not his biological mother and sets off to find his real mother, eventually tracking her to the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Joker escapes from Arkham Asylum, and Batman learns that he has obtained a nuclear weapon and plans to sell it to terrorists in war-torn Lebanon. But this journey to the war-torn country will lead to tragedy. Will Batman be there in time? The story was very, very sad. We all know the story of Jason Todd. He was the replacement of Dick Grayson, the first Robin who would later become Nightwing. The story was one of the most tragic yet important ones in the Batman franchise. And also, in this graphic novel, we have new stories such as the New Titans and also the introduction of the third Robin, Tim Drake, who was released a year later after the death of Jason Todd. Who made his debut after the death of Jason Todd. Now, I gotta say that I love Jason as Robin. What's really sad about him, though, is that he had a very rough childhood, like his birth mother leaving him and then losing both his adoptive parents. It's like Bruce and Jason had a lot in common and took him in to be the second Robin. But the only difference is that Jason and Bruce have different methods in crime fighting. Now, Batman sets out to intimidate criminals, but Jason, well, it's a whole different story. Now, a lot of people didn't like Jason Todd due to replacing Dick Grayson. Of course, lots of people do not love the replacement of a beloved character, and you gotta expect some resentment because of that. What's really funny is that Jason becomes the Red Hood in later stories. Everyone starts loving him. Kinda like a double standard right there. I thought that the journey to find and reunite with his biological mother was cute, but unfortunately this journey leads to tragedy. What begins as a happy reunion turns to tragedy. Jason Todd, unlike Grayson, his crime-fighting methods are more extreme. Why is that? Spoiler alert. In a previous story, Jason Todd confronted a criminal called Felipe, the son of a South American diplomat who's heavily involved in the cocaine trade. Unfortunately, bats can stop this guy. Why? Because he's got diplomatic immunity, Lethal Weapon 2 style. This doesn't sit well with Robin since Felipe is also beating his girlfriend and eventually drives her to commit suicide. Jason decides to confront Felipe himself, and when Felipe winds up falling from a skyscraper, Batman is left wondering if he slipped or if Robin threw him to his death. I gotta say that Jason was in the right in this one. We all know Batman doesn't kill, and he instructs his sidekicks to not kill even if they're criminals. Why? Because in Batman's words, killing criminal makes you a criminal. But in this one, I gotta say, Jason was in the right. I mean, diplomatic immunity makes him get away with crimes. That's stupid. I also enjoyed the arrival of Tim Drake and him taking the mantle of Robin. So, finally to wrap this up, I love the story, tragic and sad, but also with the loss of a partner, a new one arrives as well as an old one to help at times. Hey, at least in this version of Batman, Batman doesn't retire for 10 years only to come back as a 55-year-old crime fighter. Dark Knight Returns, you know what I mean? So, my final score for this story is an A-. This is John, host of Video Games in the World. Have a good one. Peace.